So, what if the biggest revolution in education isn't about replacing teachers, but about giving them a superpower? Today, we're diving into how generative AI is doing exactly that. Not as a replacement, but as an augmentation, a brand new co-pilot that helps educators do things that were, until now, pretty much impossible.
You know this scenario, right? It plays out literally everywhere. It's late, a student is finally in the zone, working hard, and then, bam, they hit a wall. They post a question, but the human TA is swamped or asleep or just offline. And that question, it just sits there. Momentum lost. And this leads to a really critical question. Have we just accepted this cycle of late-night questions and burned-out TAs as normal? Is this just how it works? Or is it a sign that the system itself is stretched way too thin? This isn't about pointing fingers. It's about seeing a fundamental crack in the foundation.
And that gets us to the real heart of the problem. It isn't a lack of knowledge. It's not a lack of effort from anyone. It's a basic mismatch between when students need help and when humans can actually provide it. It's the classic problem of having incredible expertise that's trapped by the clock.
And that's the bottom line. You can have the most brilliant TA in the world, but there's no help at 2 in the morning when a student is wrestling with a paper. The expertise is there, the need is definitely there, but our human limitations create this huge gap right between them.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? This is where it gets really exciting, because it requires us to completely shift how we think about AI in a classroom. We've got to adopt what you might call an augmentation mindset.
And look, this difference is absolutely crucial. The replacement idea is that AI does something a human used to do. But augmentation? That's about AI doing what was never possible for a human to do in the first place, like being available 24/7. And when the AI handles that, it frees up the human TA to focus on the stuff only humans can do well: real mentorship, complex problem solving, and offering genuine support.
Think of it like this. You're teaching someone how to drive. Your real job is to teach them judgment. You know, how to handle a crazy merge on the highway, how to react when something unexpected happens. If you also had to be the GPS calling out every single turn, you'd be totally distracted. The AI is the GPS. It handles the routine navigation so you can focus on the real art of driving.
Or how about this one? An athlete's GPS watch tracks their pace, their heart rate, all that data. But the watch doesn't replace the coach, right? Of course not. The human coach is the one who looks at that data, tweaks the training plan, and gives that crucial pep talk. The AI is the watch, the TA is the coach.
Okay, one last analogy that really nails it. The AI is like a sous chef in a high-end kitchen. It does all the prep work, all the chopping, the measuring, the tedious stuff. This doesn't make the head chef any less important. It actually makes them more powerful, because now they can focus on creativity, on technique, on the final dish. The AI handles the chopping so the human can focus on the mastery.
Now, this isn't just a bunch of cool ideas. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania actually built this. They deployed a real AI co-pilot, and they call it JeepyTA. It's built on a large language model, but, and this is the key detail, it's grounded only in the specific materials for that course. It's not just pulling random answers from the web. Let's see what this thing can do.
First off, it masters the basics. So a student asks, hey, what's the grading criteria for this paper at midnight? Because JeepyTA has ingested the entire syllabus, all the readings, all the policies. It can answer those kinds of logistical questions instantly and accurately, anytime, day or night.
But it gets so much more powerful than that. JeepyTA can give structured feedback on an entire essay draft in just a few minutes. It actually reads the student's work and compares it against the official assignment rubric, pointing out what's working and where they can improve. This lets students revise and actually learn from the process before it's too late.
And for coding classes, this is an absolute game changer. Instead of just giving them the answer, JeepyTA explains why the code is breaking. It suggests strategies for debugging it themselves. It's not a cheat code, it's actually teaching them the process of how to solve problems like a programmer. That's a way more valuable skill.
And get this, at the end of a long week of online discussion forums, JeepyTA can automatically synthesize the entire conversation. It pulls out the main themes, highlights interesting questions, and even credits students by name for their contributions. This saves the instructor hours and hours of work, freeing them up to guide the next conversation to an even deeper level.
Okay, this all sounds amazing on paper. But you're probably wondering, does it actually work? Does it really make a difference? Well, the research team tracked all the data to find out.
So before JeepyTA came along,
The median response time for a student's question on the forum was about 7 hours. Now, if you're stuck, 7 hours can feel like an eternity.
After they rolled out JeepyTA, that median response time plummeted to just over 2 hours. That is a massive, massive improvement in student support. And it's not because the humans started working faster. It's because the AI handled so many questions instantly.
But what about grades? Did this faster feedback actually lead to better work? Well, in one course, before students got instant AI feedback on their essay drafts, 64% of them earned an A or an A+. Pretty good.
But after they implemented JeepyTA for draft feedback, that number jumped to an incredible 95%. I mean, wow. That shows a direct, powerful link between getting that immediate, iterative feedback and producing higher quality work. So if you're an educator, you might be thinking, okay, this is amazing, but how would I even start to use this without it becoming a total mess? Well, the researchers came up with a simple, really practical framework for making smart decisions about where AI fits and where that human touch is non-negotiable. It's a traffic light system. Simple, right? Green light tasks can be fully automated, things like answering questions directly from the syllabus. Caution tasks are where the AI generates a first draft, like that essay feedback or a discussion summary, but a human TA must review and approve it. And then you have stop tasks. These are human only. Things like final grades, sensitive student issues, that's where humans, and only humans, should be involved.
And you know, the best part is you don't have to boil the ocean here. The advice is super simple. Just start with one course. Map out what your green, your caution, and your stop tasks are. Try one small thing, see how it goes, and then build from there.
Because at the end of the day, this research makes one thing crystal clear. AI assistants are coming to education. They're already here. So the real question we're left with isn't if they'll be a part of it, but how we choose to use them. Thoughtfully, strategically, and always with human expertise right at the very center of it all.